All right, before you watch this video, I have to tell you that this video is going to be slightly disturbing for some of you. So be careful. It has content that will shock you because I'm going to address explicitly why did the Dalai Lama say, "Can you suck my tongue?" with facts, evidence, and research. Okay, that is number one. Number two is I'm going to actually expose some of the practices which we Indians and me specifically, my family, have been practicing over the years, which will leave you shell shocked, and you'll be like, there's no way that you did this. And you'll be like, I think we need to call the police and get this guy's family arrested. It is that disturbing. Number three is I'm going to share something absolutely shocking and disturbing, which will disturb you, you'll be like, no way, man. So I'm going to open my heart and going to share with you. And the reason and purpose for making this video is to make you understand why did the Dalai Lama say, "Can you suck my tongue?" Look, I'm not going to convince you and say, "No, you must believe Dalai Lama is innocent." No, you believe whatever you want. You have the right. But my only request to you is I made this video, 35 minutes, researching facts, spending months and weeks and months with the people of Tibet, with scholars, with researchers to get my facts right. And I was just like you. I also posted the first video where I lambasted the Dalai Lama. I was full of hate and anger against him. But what changed? So the only purpose I'm going to share this video with you is to address the truth. Is the Dalai Lama a pedophile or is he innocent? Did he say it with bad intention or was he playful? And why is the world misunderstanding? In fact, I'll even talk about conspiracy theories that he was planted by the CIA and he's a puppet and he has this dark Epstein like kind of lifestyle. All this will be answered in this including most shocking bit about some of the disturbing things which have been done in the Indian culture and even in my family. All right, this is a video about the Dalai Lama and the controversy about he telling a young boy, "Can you suck my tongue?" All right, I made a video short about it. Literally, I don't know, every single day there are two or three people who check that shorts. It's a very short video, shorts, YouTube shorts. And almost immediately they jump on me and say that, "Oh, I'm a pedophile, I support pedophiles, or you're disgusting, what a disgusting human being." And some of them, some of them take it so personally. They say, "I wish you get what? You get raped. I wish your children get raped. I wish your children or your loved ones or small children in your family get raped. Then you would know how it feels." Now, I'm not laughing because I think very lightly of this. In fact, many of you who are commenting are not aware of the fact that I was, in fact, molested and raped as a small child. Not one time, multiple number of times, as far as I can recollect, from the age of 6 all the way, I think, till almost 11. And even when I told my Mangalorean parents, they were more interested in keeping the respect and the goodwill with the other family members, even though that person was known to the family, and they didn't care for me. They didn't protect me. In fact, I had to learn how to protect myself. And when it almost happened to my younger siblings, cousins, I stopped that man. There was no internet, there was no social media, there was nobody to guide me, there was nobody I could turn to. Even just imagine your own stepfather, my stepfather, means even your own father and mother are not telling you what to do, how to protect yourself. So I was self-taught. Okay. And it that doesn't mean it just stopped. It continued because as a young boy, I was pretty, I guess I was good looking, I suppose. And I was in Dubai. um, mostly a Muslim country and mostly expats. That time, those days, there was no easy sex available. So they would target the easy praise, young children and innocent, youngsters. Anyway, why I'm telling you this is only because many of you claim that I don't know what it is to be a victim. I'm supporting pedophiles, or oh, you're such a horrible person. It should happen to you. It has already happened to me. And some people say, oh, I wish it happens to your child and daughter. I mean, come on. If we don't agree on something, why should we target small children? All right. And I'm not angry with you. I'm being very honest with you. I'm not angry with you. I know where you're coming from. In fact, something which you do not know. Okay. I've actually made a playlist where I've compiled all the videos that I spoke about the Dalai Lama. And in total, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos. 7 videos ranging from 13 minutes to up to 46 minutes. Okay, in that range. And you will be surprised to know, because most of you don't see this video. The video that I uploaded on April 11th, 2023, that was the first video I put about the Dalai Lama, and I spoke against him. I attacked the Dalai Lama. Why? Because just like you, when I read the newspaper, when I read the media, they always make things sensational because that is what sells. They always, give you the side of the story which will make you react the most. Obviously, even when I read that the Dalai Lama said this to a boy, "Can you suck my tongue?" I also thought he was a pedophile. I mean, I'm just like you. I'm a normal guy, and I made that video. The title is "Very Disturbing Footage." I watched the video, horrific. I gave, obviously didn't give bad words, but I spoke about it. However, that video got 5,300 views, 5,334. However, after posting that video on April 11th, to my surprise, I got people from Nepal. Sorry, people, from Tibet, and people from who were actually with the Dalai Lama, not his PR agency, researchers, disciples of his, people who were well versed with the Tibetan culture, but were staying abroad, overseas. And one by one, they started to approach me and tell me, very politely, "Sir, you misunderstood." Now, at first, I didn't want to listen, but eventually, I was like, okay, fine, go ahead. And some even gave me links to some other videos to understand the Tibetan culture, Tibetan lifestyle, and what exactly was the Lama saying. And that video clocked in 61,000 views. However, that was not monetized. Okay, because I don't know, the powers that be didn't want that video to get monetized, which didn't matter. I was more interested in the truth coming out. Ever since that video, I have actual facts. I have had people, researchers, PhD scholars, movie directors who are Tibetans who actually explained to me what the Dalai Lama is, what he meant, what the Tibetan culture was, and I felt a sense of responsibility. Now, there were people also who believed that I was milking the Dalai Lama topic. I was milking it for financial benefits. Well, if you actually check the date, April 11th, 2023 was the first video, and the last video was April 26th, 2023. After that, I never put any Dalai Lama video. So it's nearly now 2 years that I'm actually posting this one. Now, why I'm explaining all this is so that you understand that I'm not just making this video out of ignorance. I have researched the topic. I have spoken to people from Tibet, scholars, people with PhDs, people who have known the Dalai Lama, stayed in Tibet. And I literally gave, I think, months of my life understanding this. And even though after that, I got people coming from Tibet and saying, Dalai Lama this, or put another video, I didn't bother. So, contrary to what you believe, I am not milking it. I was not milking it. But obviously, yes, if I post a video, I post it for views. Some people said, oh, see, he's desperate for views. I mean, why do you create a YouTube channel if not for views? It's basic common sense. It's like me saying, oh, you're working for money. Ha, ha, ha. Why else do you work, man? So, this video is not about anything else. The only reason I'm bringing this up now is because Dalai Lama is once again in the news. So he's celebrating his 90th birthday. He's going to have a successor. But more importantly, it is the I don't know, is it because people are searching about the Dalai Lama and they want to, give him a piece of their mind? They're still visiting that YouTube shorts and which says, "Why did the Dalai Lama say suck my tongue?" And oh my goodness, they are screaming at me, shouting at me, wishing me I get raped, my child gets raped, my family gets raped, and so I thought, okay, once again, I think I need to make it clear. Now, I'm not going to bore you with long, drawn out explanations, but I have to tell you this. If you are an individual that wants to know the truth, I request you watch this video. If you want to know the truth, if you are the type who, without doing any effort, without being patient, without wanting to listen, if you're so consumed by your bias and hatred towards the Dalai Lama, then just ignore this video. Just press dislike and exit the video. But if you want to learn something and you're prepared to admit that you're wrong, then watch this video. I'm being very transparent with you. Okay? I, for one, being a YouTube content creator, I'm constantly learning. It's not humanly possible for me to know everything from personal branding, what's happening in the US, what's happening in Iraq, what's happening in India, what's happening in France, what's happening in Germany, Africa. I mean, it's not possible to know everything. We are all learning. And most of us use Google to get our source of information. But in this case, I spoke to people. I spend 2 to 4 hours sometimes on a call listening to people. In fact, there are a couple of videos I didn't upload because I didn't think it was necessary. So, my only request to you is if you genuinely want to know the truth, just give me a few minutes. I'll read out my notes to you. And then after that, if after that you're still not convinced, fine. Hats off to you. You have a right to your opinion. But after listening to what I have to say, if you feel maybe he is right, then the very fact that I've made you think and asked you to challenge yourself and do some research, I think we both are in a win-win. So having said that, I will start and I request you, please, just patiently listen and then judge for yourself. All right. So these are my notes. See, the incident occurred on Feb 28, 2023. It was in Dharamshala, India. A video clip went viral showing an interaction between the Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, and a young boy at a public event in Machedo, Dharamshala. Okay, that's the name. I don't know if I got that right. The boy approached Dalai Lama, and remember, the boy was with his mother. The boy was with his mother, and FYI, I spoke to people who were at the actual event. Okay, the boy was with his mother, and she encouraged her son in front of her to go to the Dalai Lama, and he seemingly asked for a hug. The Holiness gave the boy a kiss on the cheek, then on the lips. Okay, he didn't lock lips and exchange like a passionate Hollywood movie. Yeah. By the way, if you get disgusted by that, the Arabic culture is where men rub their noses, even kiss on the lip. You do not know this, maybe because you have not been in Arabic countries. I've been in Arab countries in the Middle East, and I can tell you this. I also have been kissed on the lip by a man who is straight as an Arabic greeting. Okay. So there are a lot of things which is hard for you to believe, but there are things you do not know. All right. Then he playfully stuck out his tongue and uttered the phrase. This is where the controversy takes place. Can you suck my tongue? Which was translated into English by him. Can you suck my tongue? And there was a laughter at the background. If you watch that video closely, you'll notice this. I've seen multiple videos from multiple angles. Now, this is where People lost their brains, their marbles, whatever. The reaction was global and it was swift. The video spread across social media platforms with the tagline of not only pedophile, of not only him being a sexual pervert, but they said, "Can you believe he said this?" Attention, sensationalism, leading to widespread outrage, especially among Western audiences. Why? Because pedophilia is very common in these countries and it's genuine cases, not fake made up. In fact, many of the people from the West, they visit third world countries for exactly this purpose. Okay, they are sexual predators. Many viewers unfamiliar with the Tibetan culture, the Tibetan tradition, and the Tibetan nuances interpreted this act as a highly inappropriate, disgusting, and even predatory behavior. Terms like disgusting, sick, pedophilic, pedophile, they were all used. Children's rights activists also jumped in and issued a statement condemning the act, again from a Western legal and cultural perspective. Remember, this is all Western. Then the Dalai Lama's office on April 10th, this happened on Feb 28th. By the way, I had made my video on April 11th. Okay, so this came out on April 10th, one day before. I didn't see it. The Dalai Lama's office issued an apology on behalf of the Holiness, the Dalai Lama. The statement expressed His Holiness wishes to apologize to the boy and his family. Okay, now when they said this, they said, see, he's guilty. The problem is you cherry pick things out of context. It's like a Joe Rogan, he gives a 3-hour podcast and you take two phrases here or one sentence here. See, he's racist. Oh, he's sexist. 3 hours when you're talking, you can just cherry pick one statement. Have you seen some of those rap videos of Donald Trump or something? They take each word that he has said in 10 different places and they join it together to make it sound like as if he has said a shocking statement or like a rap song. So, in the same way, you take things out of context, then obviously you'll want to believe what you want to believe. So, His Holiness wishes to apologize to the boy and his mum, his mother and his family, as well as friends across the world for the hurt his words may have caused. He's not saying, I'm guilty. He just said, because the wrong selection of words. Mind you, he's not a native English speaker. So when you translate, there are a lot of words that definitely get taken out of context. Even though I'm an Indian, I don't know Hindi. Some of the things which I say, okay, forget my videos where I exaggerate sometimes, but there are some things which are totally like uncalled for. In fact, my wife, this is an actual translation. My wife calls the private part of a man. Can you guess what does she call? Okay. What does my wife call the private part of a man? She calls it the worm. She calls it the worm. Now, immediately when I said the worm, you'll have image, oh, must be small, must be tiny. And then she says, oh, when it grows up, this is my Thai wife who cannot speak English. When she says when it grows up, it becomes like a cobra. One more example, just to make you understand. My wife calls breasts. You know what does she call breasts? And why did this come up was because after I got married to my wife said the first thing, because we got married more like a love arranged marriage very quickly. She said, if you want to show me off, this is the exact word, you want to show me off to your friends, I can get surgery. I asked her, surgery for what? What she was actually trying to tell me is, if you want to brag to your friends and show, oh, I got a beautiful Thai girl and you want to show off, I'm not beautiful. I can get a surgery, means enhancement of my breasts, so that you can show off. That is what she assumed that I wanted to do. I said, why should I show off? You're my wife. You're not a toy or something. And I'm not doing it to brag to anyone. And this is what she called breast. She said, which I didn't understand at the time. She said, if you want, I can make my milk bigger. If you want, I can make my milk bigger. She refers to breasts as milk. Now, you will say, oh, she's a dumbass. She doesn't know. My dear, there are a lot of words in Thai Just Google search, there are words in Thai. One word which means the same thing, Tao or something, it means 10 different things. There are even words in English which can be used interchangeably for two different things. It just doesn't make sense. So, in the same way, His Holiness, in that moment, out of just impulse, he just said it. Now, I'll give you the actual word which you are supposed to use. And let's see if you know Tibetan language, since you are such experts in English. It clarified His Holiness often teases people when he meets in an innocent and playful manner, even in public before cameras. He regrets the incident. See, remember, if a person is a pedophile, if a person is twisted and dirty, they will do it in secrets. When you watch porn, do you watch it publicly? When you play with yourself, you know what is play with yourself? Do you do it publicly? If you do it publicly, people will call you a pervert. So people do it privately. People do it when nobody's watching. How many so called saints wearing a full suit, looking decent, have such a dark, sinister past? How many pedophiles have been caught where they look very nice and decent outside, but when the reality catches them, then it's exposed. And here, the Dalai Lama didn't get caught on camera like surprise cameras. There was no undercover investigation. It was open in front of everyone. If he had a dirty bone in his body, you think he would do that openly? He could have done it privately. He could have said, bring one of those 2, 3 Tibetan boys quietly, nobody's watching. Use your bloody common sense, man. When it's like you people just love to judge someone without using your common sense. I'm asking you, if you had to do something sexual which was disgusting, would you do it openly in front of everyone? Simple question. Would you do it openly? No, you would not. Why would he do it? Use your common sense. If he's such a pervert, if he's so dirty, it is crucial to know that the apology was for any hurt caused by his words, acknowledging that it was a misunderstanding rather than admitting to any ill intent. This is what most of you people need to get in your brains up here, which you lack because you're so blinded by your bias. Okay. He and it's an apology for a misunderstanding rather than admitting to any ill intent or any impropriety from any Tibetan culture standpoint. This highlights his compassion and recognition for cultural sensitivities. Here's the problem. Because he apologized, if he was guilty, if he was not guilty, why did he apologize? He should just remain quiet. If he remained quiet, the uproar wouldn't stop. It's like, if you do it, you're bad. If you don't do it, also you're bad. So what do you want people to do? Should they apologize or should they say no? If they say no, why isn't he humble? Why isn't he addressing the issue? And when they address the issue, he's just trying to cover up. Oh, what a lame ass apology. He didn't cry in the camera. You'll bring in your own factors. Oh, he doesn't look like he's sorry. Oh, he's doing it because he wants to be popular. It's not a YouTuber making a YouTube apology, man. Grow the hell up. It's like, your conditions, no? You do it also, you're bad. You don't do it also, you're bad. So what should the person do? That is why, for me, I give a damn about people. I seriously give a damn. There are a lot of people who misunderstand what I say. I give a damn about it. And this video is not about, I'm a goody guy. No, fuck you. Seriously, I give a damn because you are a nothing and nobody to me. What are you going to do? Make me unpopular? Oh, boycott him. He's a very bad guy. What? Are you paying me money for it? I'm not in a popularity contest here, my dear. I hate popularity. I hate fame. I love money. For me, money, but ethically. Now, you can say, he loves money. He's a pervert. You can cherry pick whatever you like. Now, coming back to the actual Tibetan context. Okay, pay attention here. Historical origin of the greeting and the sign of respect of why they say, suck my tongue, the tongue gesture. The act of sticking out a tongue has a deep historical roots in Tibet. It dates back to the 9th century King Lang Dharma, who was known for his cruelty and said to have a black tongue. To prove that they were not his incarnation, to prove that these Tibetans were not his incarnation, or simply to show goodwill, love, and respect, that they harbored no ill intentions of doing anyone anything bad or killing anyone or poisoning anyone, like carrying poison, black tongue, Tibetans would briefly stick out their tongues when greeting someone, which you must have seen the Dalai Lama sticking out his tongue. You remember, even Einstein. I'm not saying Einstein did that, but Dalai Lama is always known for sticking out his tongue. I do it, but that is just for attention. That's different. This became a sign of respect and agreement. Like I told you, a lot of acts done in different cultures, like kissing the nose and kissing the lips in the Arabic culture, man to man. There are Indian cultures where they touch the feet, kiss the feet. My wife does that. My kid does that to me. So there are different cultures, and you might find them very weird. But this is from ages, and just because it doesn't fit into your narrative of what is good and bad doesn't mean it is bad. Now, this is the most important bit, the Chalasa. The Chalasa means eat my tongue, which is a playful expression in Tibet, okay, in the Tibetan language, Chalasa, which you don't know. While in general, tongue sticking is a greeting, the specific phrase, suck my tongue, or more accurately, eat my tongue, Chalasa in Tibet, is a very old, playful interaction between elders and children in the Tibetan culture, which I'm sure you never knew about it, and which even if you knew about it, but you're biased, you would not admit to this. You'd say, nah, this is a lot of things that happen in your culture. In fact, let me tell you, in Mangalorean culture, my culture, this is what my grandmother and my mother and they used to do, but I found it disgusting. You know what they do? They have small babies, especially boys, small children. When they give them a bath and whatever, after they give them a bath, the child is naked. The mother or the grandmother brings the child close with its private part dangling, and they play with it with the nose, and they even kiss it. And the kid doesn't want to. They would do it playfully. Now, do you consider this? Wow, what a beautiful thing. No, it's disgusting. I found it personally disgusting. In fact, the most disgusting thing I ever found in my own culture was, we sit down on the floor. We sit down on the floor with our legs crossed like this. But this one is where the legs are flat, straight up. Okay, this is actually a Mangalorean culture. I don't know if others do that. They put the kid, face down. You know where the knees are, no? There's a gap. They put the kid face down there, stretch it. And what can be only stated as violent, disturbing child abuse, they not only scrub oil, they rub the baby, wash the baby, and then the most horrifying thing which you'd ever see is they catch the baby from here, from the chin, and from back of the head, and dangle it in the air. And they do this as a practice for the child to grow taller. Seriously. Can you imagine having a child this way and dangling it? If any one of you had seen that, I'm sure you would have killed the person who's doing that, or at least beaten them up. This is actually practiced in our culture. I remember one of the relatives who actually said, "You're never going to touch my child ever again," because he found it so disturbing. So there are a lot of customs and traditions which are followed, which are very disturbing and outdated. I even know, you can correct me on this, there's a Jewish custom where the rabbi or the priest, or I don't know what, since he bites the foreskin. I don't know how far that's true. That's what I've read. For me, that was like, what? They bite the foreskin. I don't know, bite and spit it. I don't know what it is, but you can correct me over here. There are a lot of such cultures. In fact, in my previous video, there was a female, Indian female. It's an Indian Hindu tradition where, you touch the feet for the blessing. This female, when he's blessing his wife, she touches his crotch in front of everyone, touches his crotch and takes the blessing. In actual Indian one, is where the son sucks on the breast of the mother in a public gathering during marriage. I don't know what it's supposed to symbolize. So there are a lot of disgusting cultures, behaviors which are practiced without any bad intention, but for an educated, generation, you'll be like, "What the hell is this, man?" So that is the Chalasa. Now it is a part of a traditional game or jest where the elder might tease a child who is asking for more sweets or attention. The elder, having given all the sweets, doesn't have anything more. It's like literally saying, I give you everything I had. I give my heart, my soul. And he says, the only thing left is for you to eat my tongue. It's like, only thing for you to do is take me. So that is what they mean. It's a form of affectionate banter meant to evoke laughter and therefore reinforce a loving, close bond, not to be taken literally or with any inappropriate intention or connotation. It is a gesture with profound affection and warmth, like a grandparent playfully pretending to offer something ridiculous to a demanding grandchild. And finally, it is the oral tradition and affection. Tibetan culture, rich in oral tradition, often uses playful language and gestures like touching the nose, the forehead touching. 7 years in Tibet, they show what's his name, Brad Pitt, and the monk touching the foreheads, has an expression of deep, familiar affection, playfully, particularly with children. These are not to be viewed through a sexual lens. The last two paragraphs, the notes that I've written, is about the linguistic nuances and the Western taboo. Listen to this, watch it at 1.5x speed if you want. The exact translation of Chalasa is actually eat my tongue, not suck my tongue. Okay, while His Holiness is a non native English speaker, some must have assumed the word suck had a sexual connotation. The intent in Tibetan is entirely different from a literally English speaking interpretation, which carries with it a highly sexualized meaning in Western context, especially when you say, can I suck? Okay. The word suck is used like you suck, oh man, suck this, and you know. So, Western absence of Western taboos. The concept of pedophilia, as understood in the West, does not align with the tradition of the Tibetan culture, understanding, and interactions. Playful interactions between adults and their children is very common and often considered very innocent. The notion that an elder, particularly a reverend spiritual figure, engaging with any youngster is not at all looked upon with ill intent. It is utterly foreign and abhorrent to Western audiences, but not to Tibetan Buddhist values. And visual contextual understanding. Remember, the Western media, driven by sensationalism, lack of cultural literacy, lack of understanding of other people's cultures and traditions, and because of the very simple fact, the more shocking a title is, the more shocking an update is, the more views, the more engagement, the more, they sell advertising money. So they had to put it out of context and they didn't bother to reverse it. They said, oh, do you think so? Because they wanted you to engage. And remember, when you rally up people with hate, yes, they'll talk like this. And this created a profound misunderstanding. The final bit which I want to tell you before I conclude is it was blown out of proportion. Why? Because number one, lack of cultural education. All those idiots who have commented. See, you are people with good intentions. You have a good heart. It's not that you don't. I know you're standing up for children's right, which is very admirable. Okay. But you're doing it without, any knowledge. A little bit or misplaced knowledge is a dangerous thing. The reason for the outrage is because the global audience, they lack understanding of the Tibetan culture. They lack understanding of linguistic nuances. What is normal and affectionate and considered full of love and respect in a particular culture, tradition, country is can be looked upon in a very different light by the Western. And the West is not the standard of all human decency, please. The West is known for its dark history and its atrocities. Let's not forget that. So they are not the standard beacon bearers of goodness. One simple one I'll give you is the very fact of slavery, which was very much practiced in the West. You should not forget racism, rampant racism, to the extent where they would set people on fire, lynch them, kill them. So the West is not a standard by which they can preach to others. And especially now, what they're doing with the poor children and innocent people of Palestine supporting Israel, which I know you will support, whichever side. It doesn't matter. For me, a human being is a human being, irrespective of religion, caste, creed, nationality, passport, whatever. Sensationalism in media. Many news outlets and social media, they prioritize shock value, views, comments, engagement over the truth because they don't want to give you something that's boring. It doesn't sell. The Dalai Lama is a global icon. He is a global known person. He's a Nobel Peace Prize laureate, which I don't hold that much of value. So any controversy surrounding someone who is big, it sells in the media. And remember, someone who you thought was like even me, I got a shock, who you think is so beloved. When you hear something like that, you're like, ah, see, I told you. And finally, his innocence and playfulness, even with the, what was her name? I think Lady Gaga, when he touched her knee, he did it publicly. People are, oh, look at the disgust, look at this old, dirty old man. He exhibits openly childlike behavior. Now, I'm not encouraging every old man and to start doing that. But remember, in his case, he's a man who is in his 90s. He's not doing it. Yes, he's a human being. Yes, he has feelings. Yes, he has urges. But he's not going to do or execute this in a public platform with global media if he had bad intentions. Like I told you, if you're going to do something like even play with yourself, you'll not do it openly, you'll do it hidden. So you'd think he doesn't have that much of understanding. The particular interaction that he did was well documented demeanor, and it's a commonplace. You find it new because you saw it first time on the camera. He has been doing it for years and years, publicly in front of everyone, in his, among his people. And elders and grandparents and grandfathers, they do it with their children. The child and their mother's reaction in the video, okay, they didn't show any discomfort. They didn't feel bad. The mother was not offended. That you'll choose not to look at. But that is what I researched and I saw. So in the end, what I want to just tell you is, I've said what I have to say. You're free to believe whatever you want. If you still believe that Dalai Lama is evil and he's planted by the CIA and he's a pedophile like Epstein and all that, all the best to you. I don't gain anything, I don't lose anything. My only intention was to bring out the truth because I myself, like I said, I misunderstood and I myself hated him for this very reason. But then once I realized the truth, I was like, sheesh, I need to apologize and I need to tell the truth. So this is my version of the story. So having said that, I hope this video opened your eyes, opened your heart, opened your mind. And like I said, you're free to believe whatever you want. Now that you've listened to both sides, you be the judge and you decide what is best. All right. Having said that, good, bad, ugly, feel free. Comment down below. I'd definitely read your comments. And trust me, I'm not going to censor any comments. I love the engagement. I love people to comment more. So if you don't see your comment, it is maybe because the AI of YouTube has deleted it. Comment again, change the words, make it more presentable, and I'll definitely see it. I will not delete it. That much I can assure you. All right, good, bad, ugly. Feel free, comment down below. It's me signing off. Take care.